Hello everyone, my name's Samantha and I'm standing in the chapter house on Birkenhead Priory. The chapter house was built in 1150 and is the oldest standing building on Merseyside. It's currently used as a church under the Diocese of Chester for weddings and services, and we have carol services and other services here. It's a beautiful, beautiful church. I thought that this would be the best place for me to begin with a short story of how the Priory actually began, why it came to be and why it was located here on Birkenhead. So in 1150, Baron Hammond de Massey III of Dunham Massey and Sorgel Massey, it's the same family. His family home, his mansion, was at Dunham Massey, although nothing remains of that now. He had reached the grand age of 51, which in 1150 was a good age, and he was becoming concerned about his mortality, as he'd been a man of war all his life and he wasn't sure about where he was going to go in the afterlife. So as many rich men and powerful men did at that time, he decided to have a priory built. This was a Benedictine priory, so the monks wore black robes and were called the Black Monks. So Hammond de Massey had been granted extensive lands all around the Wirral area from William the Conqueror. He was one of William the Conqueror's men. So he decided that a good place for the priory would be here on the riverside at Birkenhead Priory. Now, the rivers was an important factor in this decision, because a part of the Benedictine order is that travellers are pilgrims. So it was deemed that a ferry passage could be offered by these monks at Birkenhead Priory, and that would be a credible role here in this area, which it did indeed come to be. So the monks arrive in 1150 and building begins, and each morning within this chapter house they would meet with the prior and stand in a circle facing each other and plan their day. They would dole out rewards and punishments and welcome new novices into the priory. So it was an important meeting to be had each day. It was a way of meeting each other also. The Benedictine order were a silent order, so they were only allowed to speak when giving instructions and when absolutely necessary. So it was an important part of the day, I'm sure, to many of them. I'm just allowing you a glimpse of our beautiful stained glass windows. These windows were installed in 1996. That's the calming of the storm. That's an intact Norman window, which in itself is a rarity. And that's the calming of the storm, which reflects the most spectacular light. It's absolutely beautiful. Often it reflects the entire scene of the window onto the opposing wall, which looks stunning in the morning when you come in. And that's a Sir John Ninian Comper window, which my colleague Caroline will be telling you all about. And this is the Adoration of the Magi. This window was taken from St Mary's Church next door when it was demolished in the 1970s. And we believe it's a Victorian window, but there's a bit of a mystery attached to this window, as it does seem older and the scene depicted is not Victorian. A lot of elements in there which would not have been Victorian. So if anybody has any information, we've asked, and it's absolutely a wonderful, magical window, and the mystery only adds to its charm. I'll move around the chapter house for you. So Birkenhead Priory existed from 1150 right through to 1536. When it was unfortunately closed as a result of the dissolution of the monasteries. And the ferry service ran for nearly 400 years, and they worked and served this community during that time. So in one of our videos today, we'll also be covering the Western Range, the Monk's Parlour, the Prior's Lodgings, and the Great Hall. So we'll be explaining more about the ferry service then, because it's an absolutely fascinating story and a real achievement by such a small group of monks. The maximum number of monks that lived here was 16. On average, there were only 5 or 6, along with the prior. So all of their achievements and contributions to this area were all the more remarkable by their small size. I hope you've appreciated this little video, and there are more to come. Thank you so much.